All right. So today, I want everybody to get their Vertizyme bottle. I want you to have it available because I want you to be able to read the label in the back. And we're going to be talking about BellaHealth, but we're going to be talking about a trifold called Are You Ready to Improve Your Health? And the first protocol on the trifold is BellaHealth. We're going to be bringing in one of the products that is in one of the products that is actually in the BellaHealth protocol, which is Vertizymes. Becky did an amazing job at going over ProBio. We know about Cinemate, we know about Vital. I want to bring in some aspects that you may not know why. Because I'm going to show you a protocol and you're going to say, I never saw this before. Unless you worked with me, you have not seen this protocol or the way in which that I use the BellaHealth. And I have a reason in which that I designed it the way I did and the way in which that we want to bring that to the table. So Angela, you came on a little late. The gratitude in question is Vertizymes has impacted my life by, and then you fill in the blank. So I am going to share my screen, and I'm probably going to just do my entire desktop because y'all just bear with me because I'm going to be flipping all over the place. Let me just put some of them down so you don't see everything. Okay, that way. Is it too busy or do I need to just, I'm sorry, darn it. And of course I would lose exactly the one I need. It never fails. Okay, give me a second. This is the one I want. And okay, let's move her up. Come on. There we go. Okay, is this too busy or is that okay for everybody? Okay, and if anybody wanted to follow on their iPad or anything like this, this is an article that I have on my website under resources, and it is under health and wellness articles, and it is called Prophylactic Enzymes. And so what I'm going to be doing today is going through first Vertizymes in a different way. So prophylactic enzymes, a possible answer to many health issues. The body produces protease. So if we look at the back of our bottle, under multiple pH, pH stands for the way in which our body keeps acid and alkaline in the body, protease blend. So we're going to be talking more on this part of the multiple pH protease blend. The body produces protease in the pancreas, and I wanted to get a picture of the pancreas and actually put it up here, and I just didn't get time because the pancreas has a head and the pancreas has a tail. The head is the bigger part, and then the tail kind of goes off. So the tail produces insulin, the head produces enzymes. And it cannot do both at the same time, just to kind of give you an idea, okay? So the pancreas head is part of the digestive system. The pancreas tail is part of the endocrine system, or the hormones, because insulin is produced in the tail, and then the head is the enzymes or enzymatics. So the pancreas activates in the stomach, known as protease or prophylactic enzymes. These enzymes work to digest enzymes in the gut. So the gut they're referring to is the small intestines. When I love the way in which that somebody will say, I have a pain in my stomach. So I will ask them, is it on your right side? Is it on your left side? Where is your pain? Because that indicates something different for me. So on our right side, our hand is going to be liver, gallbladder. On the left side is going to be your pancreas and stomach. Okay. I call it the part between the end of your, why can't I remember my anatomy right now? So right underneath the sternum bone, I'm going to call it to the belly button. A lot of times that's going to be small intestines or blood sugar issues. From the belly button on down is going to be large intestines issues. So that's whenever you take classes on face, tongue, and nail or body, that's some of the things that you learn within the Chinese medicine. So breaking down foreign proteins in the blood causes inflammation, the root cause of numerous health issues. Okay, so what are they referring to when they're saying foreign proteins? When they're saying foreign proteins, they're actually talking about viruses, bacteria, you know, I'm going to call it pesticides, insecticides, all the food colorings, the different things that we put into the body. So it's going to be yeast. It's going to be the part where we bring in endocrine disruptors. So that's going to go back to the hormones. We're going to bring in a lot of those types of aspects when you talk about a foreign protein. So a foreign protein, yes, is a cancer cell. Yes, is a virus. And I don't care what virus you're referring to. A virus ends up being a virus is a virus is a virus. I'm going to refer to it as a virus. COVID is a virus, period. Okay, in my world. And that's one thing that I love that we learned is that you address it as a virus or a bacteria or, you know, something with the endocrine system, or is it an environmental toxin, or is it a airborne allergen toxin? So pesticides would be airborne. Sometimes we get it in through food. So we understand, and we don't have any more questions about when we refer to a foreign protein. Okay. Getting rid of inflammation proteins. Notice how they keep addressing it as proteins. I want y'all to pay attention to that. Via your bloodstream and your lymphatic system, the lymph collects blood proteins, waste products, and microbes from spaces surrounding each cell. So remember, our cells bathe in fluid within our bloodstream. The fluid is called our lymphatic system, or the red blood cells, the white blood cells. We can see all of this underneath a microscope. These are then detoxified and usable in compounds or recycled, and the purified lymph is returned to the bloodstream. The purified lymph. When we have an autoimmune issue, is what's being returned to the bloodstream, is it very clean or is it dirty? It's going to still be dirty because it's recycling the trash back into the bloodstream. So remember, our Omnitox, the Mangista, is going to clean up the lymph. So why is it that when people start with the lymphatic, with the Omnitox, which we don't bring in our program until phase 3, that people start complaining about all kinds of issues being pushed into the bloodstream, and it's having to clean it all up. But guys, it's got to get out via the colon. So they start complaining that they have bowel movements, they have all kinds of issues. And that's not the type of, that's the part of why we want to do Bella before we want to do a detox. We have to clean up a lot of these protein cells that go on in there. Prophylactic enzymes have been found helpful in fibrosis conditions caused by hard, sticky proteins called fibrinogens. Okay, you see this sticky protein? Sticky. So cholesterol becomes sticky. Any type of fibrinogen, you can actually do blood work that actually checks the fibrogen in the blood. And most doctors don't want to do it. However, I have a crazy doctor that listens to me, and she does that every now and then. So what does this sticky protein, you see how we have a scar tissue right here? Scar tissue, reduction of scar tissue also made of fibrogen. Do you realize that whenever you cut the body inside, so think about you inside, I have a high visualization and I can do this, like think about you inside with that laparoscopic, and you're looking at this tissue right here from the inside. It's not soft, and it actually has like little growths and some hard spots. And if you feel the hard spots on the outside, the hard spots are on the inside. So guess what starts happening? What happens inside is that's where the bacteria accumulates. So if you start putting Healing AC cream on this and it starts turning red, guess what? What are you breaking down? And I really want an answer from somebody.
I was taking a note. Where are you putting the AC cream?
We're putting it on this scar tissue from a C-section.
Scar tissue.
If it turns red, are you breaking down the scar?
You breaking down bacteria on the other side of the scar, on the internal. So I personally have done this, and think about this. Most people will get yeast in this area, right or wrong. If they have a flap, they're going to get yeast. They're going to get it under the breast. They're going to get it in this area. They're going to get it in those. That is absolutely candida, or because candida falls under bacteria, and that is going to actually be coming out of the skin. Cleaning the blood of cellular waste and toxins also supports normal liver function. Promoting immune system response by helping the white blood cells efficiency, managing the overgrowth of yeast, and putting less stress on the liver. So when we have something coming out of the skin, I promise you guys, it's an overgrowth of yeast. I don't give a rat's patootie. I'm not going to use the word I wanted to use on what it is.
Acne?
Yeah. What's that?
Does that include acne?
That includes acne.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That includes acne. I am so sorry.
Can you restate? Can you say that again one more time?
Which part? I apologize. Help me.
Where I missed the whole thing about what includes acne.
Sorry. So Tiffany, can you re-ask the question so that way we can verify?
Yeah, so she said when there's stuff coming out of the skin, so like when you get like like I have cystic acne on my chin right now, that's yeast coming out, which is candida, which is interesting because ever since because we're recording, since I was sick, thick white coating all over my tongue every morning, which I've not had in years, like a long time. And now it's breaking out in cystic zits all over my chin.
Right.
So that's pushing the candida out of my body.
Correct. Correct. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you very much.
Excess fibrogens secreted in excess by an unhealthy liver are involved in high blood pressure, raising your risk of heart attack and stroke. So Angela, here's one of your excess fibrogen. And remember, we went back to fibrogen. Fibrogen is the sticky protein. It's fibrosis conditions caused by hard, sticky protein. Okay. So one of the things that Angela asked me, which I ended up getting my information or some information. So the top number, our systolic blood pressure, is controlled by sodium. And sodium is a rough indicator of mineral well, it's cortisol, but cortisol, I'm sorry, not cortisol. Yeah, no, cortiside, which is your aldosterone. And aldosterone is a pro-inflammatory. These are produced by the adrenals. You have two, you have aldosterone and you have cortisol that's produced by your adrenal glands. So one of them is your fight and flight cortisol when you're in adrenal overdrive or sympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic is going to be your aldosterone, which is going to be when you're sleeping, rebuilding, calming. And that information is all in one of my books where I have like, what are all the signs of a parasympathetic? What are the signs of a sympathetic? So this goes back to these Fibrogen stickies. So if we, well, let me not get there yet. I'll get there. Inflammation and immune functions. Most of the chronic disease we have deal with, including major issues, can benefit from these enzymes in our blood. Lack of protease enzymes can be a casual factor in a wide variety of symptoms. And I mean, the symptoms go on and on right here. And I'm talking about from, fibromyalgia to back pain to rheumatoid arthritis to sinus issues to heart attacks. And here we go, bacterial, viral, mold, fungal infections, okay? I'm not gonna read through all of these because you can see it all on my website. It's just all the, I call it the dis-ease, okay? Remember, it's dis-ease. As you can see, taking prophylactic enzyme supplements makes a lot of sense to achieve the intended effect. It has to be taken right away. For improving digestion of protein with a meal, the enzymes will work as a digestive aid, speeding up the breakdown of a dietary protein. To improve health, the table above, between meals on an empty stomach, they enter the blood circulation, bypassing the digestive system. So for symptomatic effects, they must be taken between meals or else they won't have a metabolic symptomatic effect. Do y'all need me to read that part again? Okay, look at the back of your bottle. If you go to the right side where it says about Soul Fiber Track, go to directions. Take 2 capsules with a meal or take 3 capsules at night before bedtime. So they actually have it listed of taking 2 capsules with a meal. So they're showing you that you can use it with a meal for digestion, or you can use it in between meals, or in other words, right at night before you go to bed. So what I want to bring in right now is something that I've put together a long time ago and I never even taught it. And I know it's kind of small. I wish I knew how to make the print bigger. But if you go to the back of your bottle and you go to multi-pH protease blend, why do they call it pH? They call it pH because of the fact that at each individual point, your stomach is a different pH. Your 3 parts to your small intestine. So you have your duodenum, you have your ileum, and then coelium. All 3 of those are absolutely different pH factors. So pH, I do pH testing in my office, and these are all different pHs. So the reason we have a protease 1 in a 20,000 HUT, which is hemoglobin units in a tyrosine base, this is a certain pH. This is actually your most acidic one. So this one's going to be probably 4.0 to, I know it's small. I can actually email this to anybody who wants. The next one is protease 2, which I thought I had it on my website and I don't have it broken down. I do have it broken down into each capsule contains 20,000 HUTs, but it doesn't tell you what the HUT, what the SAPU, what the PU, the GDU, all of these are found in, okay? So that's why I'm bringing this up to you guys, is because each one of these is a totally different pH factor. And when you look at the back of your bottle, so the SAPU is the spectromatic metric acid protease units. The PU is the phytase units. The GDU is the gelatin digestive units. Protease found in the stomach juices are also in the pancreatic and intestinal juices, and they help digest proteins. So do you see when you can take this on an empty stomach, it gets into your bloodstream? Currently right now, I thought I had brought the book in here, but I didn't. I'm actually reading a book on a guy that passed away. Oh, here it is. And I'm going to tell y'all, don't order, how you say that? Don't just order this book. This is, I mean, just science at its finest. But Nicholas Gonzalez in New York was one of the naturopaths that was found dead. I actually met him and sat at a table with him, but he was one of the gurus for breast cancer in using protease on an empty stomach at very, very high levels and helping people with all kinds of issues. And this is his actual, protocol, and it goes into all the different enzymes. So anytime we have an enzyme, we have the word ASE at the end. So if you go in the back of your bottle, you have amylase. Amylase is a carbohydrate digestive enzyme. You have cellulase next, an enzyme that digests fiber found in vegetables and some fruit. Then you have glucamase. It's the decomposes starch molecules in the body into the useful energy compound of glucose. Invertase breaks sucrose down into the simple sugar glucose and fructose. Then you have maltase, which is the simple sugar digesting enzyme that digests the sugars found in grains. So this is gluten. That's the one that's going to break down the gluten, is that last one, the maltase. So do you see and understand? I am not going to go into the calming herbs at all. I want to stay with more of the enzymatics and the digestion and the way in which this all breaks down proteins. You get where I'm coming from? So
could I ask a quick question before you went forward?
absolutely.
Thank you. When it talks about the metabolic systematic effect, would that be something along the same lines as like acid reflux, heartburn, that kind of stuff? Would you look to support breaking that down in healing that, doing them in between meals versus with meals?
Absolutely.
Am I following that right? Okay.
Absolutely. So when I go into, I know right here, we don't have literally, well, it would fall under digestive problems. And then look how you have food allergies. I promise you one thing, anybody, and I'm sorry, I'm going to probably, how you said, people are not going to like me when I say what I'm about to say, but anybody who has an autoimmune issue absolutely is eating foods they should not be eating. They're having some type of allergy, food allergy. So food allergy means that you have a foreign protein not breaking down in your bloodstream that is causing inflammation. Okay, at this point where we're at, I'm going to bring up, because I'm at the half an hour mark, I'm going to actually bring up, after 1 year of me personally being on Bella Health, I have my story. I haven't put it publicly. It's in my private group, but I did write a story. If you see this mediator release test. This was a blood test for $475 out of pocket. It is not covered by insurance. So don't ask me to do it unless you are extremely serious. I don't even mess with people because it's overwhelming information that can cause some people to go overboard, okay? Mediated means that it's a 4-time delay of our IgG. IgG is going to go back to immune system. So if you look at, we have a non-reactive, so the test reaction levels, we have a non-reactive, which is green. We have a moderate reactive, which is yellow, and then we have a reactive. I am showing you guys that I have no reds. Y'all just seen this. I have no reds after Bella Health for 1 year. Am I 100%? Hell to the no. I'm probably at about 85%. I might miss it here and there. I may not do my vital every single day, but I do my probiotics and my Vertizymes. I promise y'all, I'm probably at about 85%, if not at more than 90% mark. Okay, the reason I wanted to show you guys this is because of the simple fact that the only one that is very, very, very close to being in that reactive yet level is wheat. So guess what? This is the way in which Christine looks at something and does something. This is the only one I'm going to really address. You understand what I just said? This is what I got to start. And wheat, any white flour is going to be wheat related. Got it? Y'all understand that, right? That becomes this foreign protein that's not being broken down after 4 months in my bloodstream. That's what that meant. You got it? Any questions with that so far? Is this helping y'all understand Bella Health in a totally different heightened level? Any questions? Mindy, please ask me a question so I can understand what y'all thinking, where your brain's at. I really want to see, like, because I'm about to go through like just my protocol to Bella Health, but I want to hear somebody who's not, maybe you've never heard about foreign proteins. Foreign proteins are cancer, people. Foreign proteins are viruses. They're bacteria. They're candida. I have a whole article, and this is how I'm going to progress and show you each one of my articles, how you can learn with Bella Health in order for you to have talking points or to work with clients.
Chris, literally in school, when they were going through, how to balance the body, everything they went through pointed to Bella. And they're not connected, obviously, but every single thing they did pointed to Bella and then the Bulls Cleanse after.
Okay, so how many years have I been attending school?
Your whole life.
Exactly. I'm not lying. I have been doing natural health since I'm 20 years old. My father did it, but I didn't do it at the level in which that we're talking about now. But the point that I'm getting at is that I've built and built and built upon information to understand this. I'm the idiot I had a microscope. I am not lying. My brother would catch the frogs. I would dissect them and I would look underneath the microscope. So I actually took live blood cell. I know how to take a blood molecule and look underneath it in a microscope. Start Googling it. You will entertain yourself. I'm the crazy person who does that. Okay. I actually teach in my blood analysis class. I actually teach how to see that, how to understand it, you can literally see if you have too many white blood cells. We're literally doing phlebotomy I had a medical doctor, he would prick your finger, put it on a slide, go look at it. He would do live blood cell analysis. He died, he was 94 years old. So the part that I'm getting at is that this can be all backed up to that, the way you look underneath blood underneath a microscope. Do I have too many? If I were to take somebody with fibromyalgia's blood and look at it, they would have a bunch of foreign protein, and I would start deciding which one we have to die off first. So what happens when you die this often? It doesn't come out of the kidney or the kidney or the colon. It's coming out the skin, remember? Okay. Any questions?
So
How
just
does it-
personal, sorry.
Go ahead.
Like
Okay,
my,
first, Ashley, and then we'll go to Delma.
okay. So my, last week I kind of struggled with illness, and then literally yesterday I was like, my kidney is killing me. So that just all came full circle. That's all I wanted to say.
You understand
just
now
came
what
full
was
circle.
happening. You didn't
Yes.
drink enough water and you wasn't pushing it out of the kidney quick enough. Okay,
Yeah.
Delma?
How does it affect the mental health?
Let's stay with the gut right now. And let's see how I want to say this.
So that's a whole different story.
Well, it would just take too much of a long time. And I promise you're going to see this in the progress of the 4 weeks. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So I do have, like, I could go 2 different ways right now, but I ended up putting this as a PDF file, which is our brochure. So this is just the front page of it. And are you ready to improve your health? Okay, Delma, we have your mind, your body, and your life. Strengthening the mind and the body through the renewal process by natural ways with adaptogenic herbs and the compass blends of essential oils. Well, the biggest thing is that when we did Bella Health, and I came up with it over a year ago, we wrote about wake up your digestive system, stabilize your daily energy, empower digestion and immune health, power up energy and metabolism, calm your gut plus your mind. Anytime the gut is absorbing nutrients, the mind absolutely comes down. It is a known fact that the most violent people are sugar addicts. Did you hear
So
what
where does Parkinson's disease
Alcohol
fit in?
equals sugar, people.
Parkinson's is an autoimmune?
Okay.
I'm just going to go back to one classification. I'm not going to break something down in the way in which that we want to do it. So does Bella Health address autoimmune issues? Let's see, where's the autoimmune? I thought I had it. Rheumatoid arthritis. I didn't just put it as autoimmune, but most of all of these issues are going to go back to autoimmune issues. It's an inflammatory response. I recently have somebody that I'm working with who has Parkinson, and he was a welder all his life. Do you think he has environmental toxins? See what I just showed y'all?
Yeah.
Okay. So I do have a PowerPoint presentation that, let's see where I have it.
I just have a brother-in-law that's starting out with it, and I just wanted to present him. I have an opportunity to present him with it. So that's why I wanted to know where it fit in.
The whole thing is that what I'm showing you with Bella Health, I'm giving you the actual science behind how I built this. So that's what I'm actually, bringing to the table, is because Corinne and Kristen have taken classes, or Tiffany has taken classes, they're understanding more and more the connection, or like Kristen said, in everything that came up, Bella Health went back to it. The whole thing of when I looked, I knew this a long time ago with Soul. It just didn't, click in my brain to put it, all together and to teach it the way in which that I have. So, Bella Health, we're going to go back, and I'm just going to run through this because I'm going to show y'all we're at 8:39, and I'm going to show you how quick this can be. Bella Health will support in creating empowering behavior that will lead you to balance your metabolism, emotional well-being, and gut health. So can you live an abundant life? And all people who are suffering with disease, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for an abundant life. So, you know, an abundant life means that we can have healthy bacteria and support our GI tract. We promote the elimination of the bowels. We balance out the blood sugar or cortisol. There's that word cortisol. And I'm going to go back to cortisol is an anti-inflammatory if used properly in the body. It becomes belly weight when it's not used properly, and stress while helping to empower health. So yes, you can achieve a life that's abundant, whole living, mind, body, and spiritual wellness. So you see how it all comes into play, Delma? It's gonna always tie back to when the gut is right, the brain is gonna be right. So we have categories, and it's going to be the metabolism side of this. I just walked you through why the metabolism side. And the metabolism side is when we are metabolizing a foreign protein, then we are going to break down inflammation. Then our brain is going to be able to uptake the nutrients it needs, and the gut will now be happy. So in order to move forward in any dis-ease, we need to have a beautiful gut. It all starts with the gut. I know we keep going back over and over and over. Most people who come to me are on tons of supplements, and they're not on one probiotic daily, and they are not on any type of enzyme. That is bottom line. And they don't take one green unless they're on Juice Plus. And they consider that their greens. And I'm just showing you a reality of what I have seen over and over and over again in my practice. So a metabolism is a chemical reaction in the body cells that change food into energy. This energy is used for movement, thinking, and growth. Okay, so let's go back to something here. So if this is the chemical reaction, then I'm going to go back here. Isn't this process of getting this digestive process and having the junk get out of our bloodstream? You see, people don't see the digestion in the bloodstream. They only think about it as if we have a large molecule particle that is big and it doesn't become liquefied, the body is not, that is how you get asthma. That's how you get all different types of issues with the digestive system, is because it's trying to get back into the bloodstream as this waste byproduct. That's that metabolism part of it. So the emotional well-being is the practice of stress management techniques, be resilient. This word is just coming up in my life lately. It's like with Louisiana, we are so darn resilient, and generate emotional that leads to good feelings, affects your physical and mental state. On the side, I had a lot about the different, self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. So this is the part where it's absolutely going to help that mental part of things. Your behavior plays a vital role in your health. So gaining clarity about your personal and professional life and whom you want to become as a person allows us to see where we are lacking and feel absolutely certain in our life right now. And it goes back to courage. Because when we have courage, then we can step into what we call a new. So the letter A and then capital letters NEW, new. Because you see, anytime we have to learn a skill in order to improve. We have to, how many people fixed their bed this morning? Okay, so we got about 50%. So one of the big things is that you see that's part of a behavior that becomes a routine that becomes a part in your life that you keep going back to because it brings a better result of the way in which that you feel and think. So, and for some people, it might be something else. For some people, it doesn't matter. However, it's still part of a behavior. And when I had a behavior of taking my Vertizymes and my probiotics and having a year-long goal, a lot of people didn't even realize I had that goal or something I was working on. And when I did that, I ended up with a different result. So balance, we always have to have balance in our life. Balance is the sweet spot that you find somewhere in the middle. Too far one way. So I'm using the yin and the yang here in Chinese medicine. So, or positive and negative. So yin is negative, yang is positive. Yang is pushing out, yin is coming in. Too far one way as we are on a disease path, and too far the other way, and we have too many indulgences. So when we're looking at balancing the bloodstream, when we're looking at balancing and assimilating nutrition, we change everything else about our body. Gut health. Your gut not only helps you digest food, but your gut bacteria works all over your body and can be good for the physical and mental health. So if you think about this, the gut health is going to determine your pH in your body. It's going to determine your skin pH. It's going to determine whether or not we have healthy bacteria on the outside of our skin, inside our body, every aspect of it. So how to achieve good gut health? Consistent movement. And consistent movement doesn't have to be that we have to go do CrossFit every day. It is not about that. Good nutrition. Determine your food sensitivities. You've got to start learning. And I promise you, I don't want you to go take a test. As a matter of fact, I tell people, you have to work 3 months with me before I will do a test on you. Why do I do it that way? Because of the simple fact that if they're not going to do the work, then what's the point of finding out what their sensitivity is and how they're going to remove it from their body? And then good quality sleep, because this controls the cortisol. If we don't rebuild cortisol in the middle of the night, we don't get into a parasympathetic state. We will not recover when we work out. We will have high blood pressure. We will have many different factors. So these are pretty much the 4 bases that I deal with when working with a client. And these have to be, when I started getting good quality sleep, I was able to bring down my food sensitivities. Even though I was eating good nutrition, these aren't in place. Guess what? So I'm going to show you how, we ask how this all helps and coincides with our belief and our disciplines. When I had quality sleep, I reduced my food sensitivities. My nutrition got better because I had the energy to be able to do this. I was consistent in my movement because I had the energy to show up and go move. You see how I showed you this in reverse order? So that's how I work with clients in working in these 4 determinations through the Bella Health program at first. So are you ready to live an abundant life by creating empowering behaviors? So today I taught this to professionals of how they could actually use this PowerPoint presentation. It is something that I have put together and I use it over and over. This is on my website. I actually show people, and read this over and over. So this gets brought up every time I'm with a client, and I show them this when I'm doing the Bella, because these all go back and coincide with one another. So the Bella Health for me, in the way in which that I use it, is I turn around and have them take 1 capsule upon awakening and 2 capsules of 1 capsule of Probio IQ, 2 capsules of Vertizymes upon awakening. People often ask me, I take thyroid medication. I tell them, you can do it a half an hour from each other. You need to set your alarm and take your thyroid medication at 5 o'clock in the morning and go back to bed. And they frown at me. And I said, well, you want to start getting energy or you don't? If you don't start giving the body a constant dose at a certain time every single day, you'll never change your energy. And then that way, the minute they get up, they can take their Vertizymes and their ProBio. The Cinemate, of course, is in the morning from 7 to 10. The Vital is somewhere in the afternoon from 12 to 4. Yes, people can drink this later. This actually relaxes some of my people because anytime there's an herb in Vital called astragalus. Astragalus is used in my profession for whenever you eat something. So I'm certified in Eat Right for Your Blood Type. I apologize. I didn't see there was a chat. Oh, I've been certified in Eat Right for Your Blood Type. In Eat Right for Your Blood Type, when you eat and avoid food, let's say gluten, if you take astragalus, it helps to bring that foreign protein level down in the bloodstream. I love astragalus. I love it as a single. I love it as a, in our formulas. So my point is, if somebody eats something that they shouldn't, I will have them drink a Soul Vital. I will have them take an adaptable in order to bring down that reaction point. And then at night, before someone goes to bed, they're going to take the ProBio in the morning and the Vertizymes at night. So the reason I do this is to work on what we call prophylytic enzymes. And that is to be able to break down viruses, bacterias. Let me pull something else on my website and it's going to help you see this part. Because the fourth part of the stage in the trifold is to go into the lymphatics and parasitology. And parasitology, when you look at parasitology, you're looking at breaking down, common parasites, which is going to be your protozoas, your helminths, your arthropods, and your fungi. Your fungi are going to be your spores and your molds. That's your yeast and your candida. Arthropods are going to be ticks, fleas, spider bites, all those type of things. Your hemimites are going to be worms that you get from uncooked meats or animals or pork. And your protozoas are going to be also from insect bites like malaria. So if you think about us having mosquitoes down south, guess what? We get tons and tons and tons and tons of issues because we're getting that in. So when we go into the second month, I'm going to end up bringing that up. But this is where a lot of people who take Trinity get exposed to this acronym BULLS: bowels, urine, lungs, lymph nodes, and skin. So each month builds on the next in the simple way in which that we break it down. Now, I personally keep people on the, the Bella, and I add, and then I add, and I add. And so they say, well, when can I stop taking my Vertizymes and my ProBio? And this is what I say. Molly has barely had ticks or even since her drinking Vital. Yeah, because it will clean the bloodstream. So the reason in which that I tell people, yes, you're going to stay on it for a long period of time is because it takes 90 days to change a red blood cell. Most people with an autoimmune, if you've had the autoimmune for 10 years, it's going to take you 10 months to just be able to make some type of cleanup environment. Then we have to start rebuilding. So most people today do not eat the raw foods properly. Their digestion is horrible. They don't have enough hydrochloric acid, which is very, very important to break down proteins. A lot of people today are large meat eaters and they have too much protein. I see this over and over, and they do not balance it out with vegetables. And most people don't eat vegetables. Or if they make a smoothie, they don't have a vegetable smoothie. They have I call it a multi super duper fruit smoothie. Sugar. I allow somebody to put one fruit only, and only a third cup in your smoothie when you're trying to make changes in your health. Okay. I know, here we are. I love some of y'all faces. I should have taken a picture. We're at the 55 mark. I want at least 2 people to answer this gratitude question. Vertizymes has impacted my life by.
I will, I'll go.
Okay.
Several autoimmunes, fibromyalgia, one of which is a histamine intolerance, meaning I could hardly eat anything, nothing left over. Everything had to be made fresh, even buying meats day of. It allows me to eat more food more regularly without suffering the consequences and reduce that histamine effect in my body.
And what is a histamine effect?
Basically, it means that my body sees most foods as a foreign invader. And so we all have histamine in our body, which helps us fight off, like if you were
Airborne particles.
yeah. And so like if you were to eat a leftover, it has more histamine in it. That's what allows you to eat leftovers or certain things. So that's why I'm like, I couldn't eat leftovers because the next day it'd be too high, right?
Because they normally don't have enzymatics and
Mhm.
enzymes in them. So what happens is her pancreas head does not produce enough enzymes to break her food down. Okay, you see how I'm taking this histamine word and I'm turning it in, and
Yeah.
what's happening is it's entering her bloodstream in larger particles than it's supposed to. A foreign protein in the blood just means it is something that should not be there. Period. That's it. That's the Christine's not 0.92 class. Okay, I'm going to call on Sarah.
So I wrote down, Vertizymes has impacted my life by allowing me a calm mind to sleep. That's what I notice most. If I don't take Vertizymes, I lay there, even if I'm super tired, it takes me a long time to fall asleep. When I take my Vertizymes about 30 minutes before I know I'm going to bed, I can usually fall asleep within 5 minutes of laying down.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I know that we all think, because it's in the calming category, it's bringing our nervous system down. However, the reason it helps is because it brings you into parasympathetic nervous system. When we can drive down the protein invaders, when we can bring that down, it helps the body to relax and actually go in and shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic. Cassie. Affirmation, gratitude.
Yeah. So I was somebody that didn't think I needed ProBIQ or Vertizymes because I eat a lot of fermented foods, but it has changed so many different things for me. The digestion is a lot different. There's no bloating beforehand. I don't have that anymore. And I don't know if it's possible, but since I started Vertizymes before bed, I don't get up during the night to go to the bathroom to potty. So, and I drink like 120 ounces a day of water.
So her body goes into true parasympathetic, because if you're getting up at night, you're being jerked and the heart rate increases and you get out of parasympathetic. You go into sympathetic. You should not go into sympathetic during sleep.
So is that why I'm not getting up to go to the bathroom?
Yes.
It's fuller sleep. I love it.
I'm going to stop recording.